Hello. Okay. So as promised, our second video of the series, we're talking about cross-border e-commerce. Okay. So the idea here is how can a brand start selling on international marketplaces? But before we do that, let's try to understand what could be the potential difficulties selling in cross-border e-commerce. First of all, is your product right for selling cross-border? If you're selling furniture or if you're selling pharma products, if you're selling anything that requires big licensing, or if you are a reseller and the product does not belong to you, you're sourcing from someone and you don't have the license to sell it, you will not be allowed to sell cross-border. A lot of the times, these marketplaces through which you would start selling, I mean, when you're starting to sell internationally, you would typically start to sell on e-commerce marketplaces first. They become the gatekeepers. So if they see a product that cannot or should not be allowed on their platform, they will disallow it. So it is very, very important to understand each of these marketplace processes, the policies, all of that. Now, why would a marketplace prevent a brand or a product from selling? After all, the marketplace would make money. Why would a particular product be stuck at customs? Why would a brand want to start selling in a marketplace? These are the typical questions that come up to me normally when I talk to brands. The first thing, marketplaces act as gatekeepers to the customer experience, and brands want to go to marketplaces because imagine you're starting to sell in a new country, nobody knows you, there's no brand experience, nobody knows your brand by recognition. How will people find you? There are hundreds of millions of websites on the internet. How will people find you? People will not find you, and as a result, you'll have to spend a lot of money on marketing, trying to build a brand and drive traffic to you. Most small and medium-sized businesses cannot afford to do that, and they don't have a big enough brand. So what ends up happening is these businesses, they typically get started on e-commerce marketplaces. But my advice is to almost every single brand that wants to do that do the following things. First, look for what are the best marketplaces in that geography where you want to start selling. Let's imagine you want to start selling in Southeast Asia. Now, Southeast Asia is a big geography. Which countries are you looking at? Are you looking at Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia? Which markets are you looking at? Let's imagine you're starting to sell in Indonesia. Okay. You will need to understand that one, Indonesian customs is very, very difficult to cross, right? 50% of the products in Indonesia are protected, which means if you're selling those goods, customs there will stop you, not allow you to enter to begin with. Second, even if you're allowed to sell, the duties are very high in Indonesia. Once you go sell on Indonesian marketplaces, what are the main marketplaces which are there? There's Tokopedia, Lazada, Shopee. These are what is called horizontal marketplaces. You can sell almost any category there, so long as that category is allowed. Majority of the marketplaces, given Indonesia is a highly conservative Muslim country, would prevent you from displaying anything that is not so conservative. So if you're selling sex toys, for example, you cannot do that. That doesn't mean you can't sell lingerie. You can sell lingerie. Those things do sell, but there are specific categories of products that sell better. So when you're selling something, it is important to take a look at first the category of goods that you're selling and whether that sells well in that geography. And second, in that geography, which are the top marketplaces where you could sell. Now, marketplaces are two types, horizontal and vertical. Vertical are those marketplaces like Myntra, which is only fashion. No other category is allowed. It is very difficult to get into a vertical marketplace at any time, remember, because vertical marketplaces are choosy. If you're doing handicrafts and you want to sell on Etsy, Etsy would want to make sure that you are manufacturing that handicraft yourself and it is not machine manufactured. If you're not doing that, you would be banned from Etsy. Same thing goes true for, let's say, if you want to sell on Zillingo. Zillingo is a good marketplace. But if you're trying to sell on Zillingo or if you're trying to sell on Zalora, you need to be of a certain product category. Otherwise, they will not allow you to sell. Even in that category, they're choosy about the kind of brands. Again, the question comes up is why are the marketplaces choosy? Remember, I said in the first video, marketplaces want to ensure that their customer experience is good. Vertical marketplaces' entire success depends on their customers knowing that this category of products is what they are selling and they're selling the best quality. Otherwise, those same customers could go to a horizontal marketplace like Amazon or Lazada and get that same product. They won't get that product. That is why they would come to a Zalora, okay, or a Myntra. Now, so once you have this understanding that you have to focus your product, understand whether that marketplace is allowing it or not, what are the top marketplaces, whether the customs would allow it or not, whether that's allowed to sell in that country or not, you have to start figuring out how exactly do you start selling in that country, right? So you come to the Eunimart platform, you select in the marketplaces tab, what you will see is a large number of e-commerce marketplaces will appear, differentiated by different geographies. So you could go to Flipkart in India, First Cry in India, LimeRoad, Myntra, all these different marketplaces. Or you could go to Amazon in US. Let's go to Amazon in US. Now, first thing that you will see is you will get some information about Amazon here. You can, if you already have an account on Amazon, you'll enter your Amazon ID and an authentication token. What happens? Eunimart account automatically links to your Amazon account. So what we will get is your orders data, your product data, we will pull that in. This is very important because you don't want to go and create your account on Amazon, then manually download that, upload it into a system. We need our system to move quickly. As soon as you start linking it, within the next 1-2 hours, we will pull all the data and you should be able to get started. Now, if you don't have an account on that marketplace, you will need to identify how do you create that account on that marketplace, or for that matter, what is actually selling in that particular marketplace. Okay. Now, when we go and create that account, what we want to do is we want to ensure that the right documents are being uploaded on that marketplace, the right banking details are being provided to that marketplace. This is step one. Majority of the merchants get confused here because they don't know what the process is. If there's any kind of such requirement, Eunimart has an account management team and a value-added services team that does this for a very small amount of payment for every single different marketplace. So we can help you get started by doing the documentation, getting your account created and all that sort of process. But the most important thing that I come across when I'm talking to a lot of these merchants is how exactly will I, create my catalog there? What is my price supposed to be? How am I going to do my shipping? So think like your merchant, right? Depending on the size of the merchant, there are different solutions that are in place. For a small merchant, let's say I'm doing 15-20 crores in revenue. I cannot afford to put my own inventory in that market. Okay. So every time I'm getting an order, I'm shipping it out from a warehouse in Mumbai. That is called drop shipping. What happens in drop shipping is you get an order from the marketplace, you do the fulfillment from your marketplace to the end customer. But a lot of the brands realize, especially for the main target markets, drop shipping is not a way to scale, at least not for the fast moving products. So if you have fast moving products that sell a lot, the best idea for you is to take those goods, a certain amount of that, there's a certain calculation that you have to do. How many orders could I get in a day? Multiplied by 6 months. Do not go more than 6 months. Take that many number of orders and put it into a pallet, ship it out, put it in a warehouse in that market. And when you get an order from that market, let's say you get an order from Singapore and your warehouse is in Singapore, fulfill it using a local shipping partner in Singapore. Let's say Ninja Cart does the fulfillment. Now, the question that you're asking me is, how will that work on the Eunimart platform? It's very interesting. We have something called virtual warehousing, where we have warehousing partners integrated in different parts of the world. You can see them here. Now, these are not our warehouses, bear in mind, but what we do is we go to these warehousing partners and we negotiate very good rates with them. We negotiate rates about, so typically when you're warehousing with a third-party partner, a lot of the merchants will know this, but the rates would be for inbounding, storing, racking, packaging, fulfillment, outbounding. Sometimes you're doing custom builds because you sent spare parts, and when you get an order, you put them together and you put the item and you get the final item and then you ship it out. So that is also done by the warehouse staff, the fulfillment staff at times. So that's called a value-added service. So all these things we negotiate with the fulfillment partners. So today we've got fulfillment partners in Middle East, in India. We're putting together fulfillment partners in US and different parts of the world. So you as a brand can, from our system, create a shipping notification to that particular warehouse where you want to do it, select which products you want to ship, and then that will come from your master catalog. Whatever products you want to ship that in, and on the basis of that, you'll be able to select the shipping partners. I'll show that in the next video, and you'll also be able to confirm that order. Once you do this, since our system is integrated with that fulfillment partner, they will get a notification saying that you have shipped this item to them. So now they know when that item is going to receive. When they receive that item, you will get a notification here. Then they will do a quality check. They will select, after doing the quality check, you will get the information how many of your items reached properly and how many were damaged or broken or didn't reach. Once you get that report, that gets added to your master inventory. So all your inventory is now connected. You have some inventory being sitting in Singapore with our warehousing partner. You have some inventory in Mumbai, and you have some inventory with our warehousing partners in Delhi, Bangalore, Kolkata, Hyderabad, etc. So now, what is the advantage that you have? You are closer to your end customer as a brand. When you get that order, depending on which channel the order is coming from, what geography that order is coming from, our system will automatically allocate it to the right warehouse. You, as a brand, can then understand how easy it is to do that fulfillment within 1 day or 2 days, bringing your cost down by 20–25%. And at the same time, allowing your customers to order repeatedly. Your customer experience, customer satisfaction goes up a lot. Let's talk a little bit about shipping aggregation, because if you're doing this, you also need shipping partners, right? So what the Eunimart platform has, excuse me, is that we have both domestic shipment and international shipment. So we have, as of today, 30+ shipping partners between India, Middle East, and the rest of the world. So you can take one item, come here, and ship it out to the rest of the world, wherever you want to, whether that is in India, etc. Now, combine what we learned about being able to fulfill from Singapore or from New York or from Berlin, and with the local shipping or the global shipping. Now start to see the full picture. If you get an order and that item you do not have in that local country there, you can just call from one of the 20 shipping options on the platform, decide which rate is best, which partner is best, ship it out using them. That item will get delivered to the end customer. Our system will track that entire shipment, send the tracking information to you and to the e-commerce marketplace. As a result, your payments are on time, your clearances are on time, etc. Now, in this, we work with shipping partners on something called a DDP model also. DDP means duties paid, delivery duties paid. What happens in that is, if you don't have a product, typically products will not get stuck at customs, but imagine it does. Who's going to pay duties for you? Are you prepared to lose your product? Are you prepared to lose the entire money on that? No, right? It is at that point that it becomes extremely important that your product is cleared by somebody. So these shipping partners that we have do this clearance for you. So if your product gets stuck, they'll charge you a small amount of money. It's integrated into our platform, and they'll do the clearance from you. So you can ship from your Mumbai warehouse to a customer sitting in Berlin or Jakarta or Singapore or wherever it is, and be at peace that your product will reach and you will get paid. But if your product is fast moving, you want to reduce the cost of supply chain, you want to become more competitive, you want to make a better customer experience, you can take some of your products and warehouse them, fulfill them from nearer to the customer, because we have a string of warehousing partners globally. Okay. In our next video, we will discuss a little bit more about cross-border commerce, but we are going to discuss from a merchandising and product optimization point of view. Thank you very much.